Once again, a very good afternoon to all the students. In this session, we are going to discuss a very important topic from the entire symmetric key cryptography, which is the first and foremost algorithm for the block symmetric cipher is the data encryption standard, right? So the data encryption standard is a block, it is a symmetric key cryptography, and at the same time this comes under the category of block cipher. Right. As I told that the block cipher makes use of the blocks, which are nothing but group of bits. So in this data encryption standard, we are going to use a 64-bit block. So in short, we will call this data encryption standard with an acronym as DES. Very, very important topic from the examination point of view. Right. So this will generally give an idea of how the algorithms, the cryptographic algorithms will be designed. So very important topic. So is it clear the basic points? The data encryption standard, in short, we will call it as DES, and it is a symmetric key cryptography. And the third point is it comes under the category of block ciphers, where it considers the 64 bits as a single block. So in this particular DES concept, we are going to deal about the history of DES, and the DES structure we will discuss, and we will see the DES analysis. So what are the required properties of this DES? The DES should consist of? All these things we will discuss, and finally we will touch up with the security of DES, and we will end our discussion with a new advanced concept of this DES, which is called as multiple DES. Right. So this is how I have planned to discuss about this DES standard. So coming to the history of DES, so this DES, as I told, that this is treated as the first and foremost encryption algorithm, which comes under the category of symmetric key cryptography as well as the block cipher. Right. So initially the name of DES is not the DES. Right. So it is renamed. It is a new name that was given to this as the DES. Initially there is a block cipher which is called as Lucifer. Right. So basically this was designed, and later it was given some modifications. The Lucifer has given lot of modifications by the IBM team as well as NSA, National Security Agency of America. So they worked on this Lucifer, and they have changed this Lucifer. They have given some modifications to the Lucifer, and they have developed the DES algorithm. Right. So what is the name of the DES? Initial name of the DES?
Lucifer, sir.
Lucifer, right. So the DES was a result of a research project that was taken by the IBM. Initially, the IBM has started this particular they tried to develop a symmetric key cryptography, the IBM Corporation, and in 1960s they came up with a symmetric key cryptography which is called as Lucifer. Right. So again in early 1970s they wanted to commercialize this Lucifer project, research project. So they have developed this Lucifer, and in 1970s they want to put it into the market, and they want to have some financial benefits. right? So while releasing this Lucifer to the market, what they have done is they have made some modifications, as I told that with the help of this National Security Agency. They have tied up with each other and they have made some modifications to this Lucifer, and they have changed the name to DES at that particular time, right? So is it clear?
Yes, sir.
Yes, sir.
So in 1977, this is the actual birth date of this DES. So in 1977, this DES has been finally adopted by this national security agencies. Right? So what modifications they have done is the Lucifer, it worked on a 128-bit key. But when it was released as DES, they have made the key as a 56-bit key, right? Now tell me which one is efficient. Is it Lucifer or DES? Which one is more efficient?
DES, sir.
No, right? The Lucifer is 128-bit key. It made use of 128-bit key, and the DES makes use of the actual input is 56-bit, but as I told that this DES is a 64-bit block cipher. Therefore, they make use of 64 bits. Right. Later, the 64 bits will be converted into 56 bits. Right. So the key size of the Lucifer is 128 and the key size of DES is 64. So which one is stronger? In the morning session also I told that the strength of any encryption algorithm, whether it is a block cipher or a stream cipher, the strength depends on the size of the key. Now tell me which one is stronger. Tell me which one is stronger.
Lucifer, sir.
Lucifer, right? Nobody knows the public, they doesn't know what is happening to this, right? So why Lucifer was designed with 128-bit, and it is the very strongest of this kind, that is the symmetric key cryptography. But while releasing it to the market, why the people has reduced the size of the key from 128 to 64-bit? This is not known, right? So, and there is another disadvantage. This is the first disadvantage from Lucifer to this DES. And the second disadvantage is the S boxes. As you know that this is a Feastel cipher. Feastel cipher means it makes use of the S boxes, P boxes, and a combination of different variety of components of the block ciphers, right? Like XOR it may use, or swapping it may use, like that any different component it can make use, right? That is called as the Feastel cipher. So the DES has used different P boxes and S boxes that we will come across while discussing the DES structure, right? But at present you just concentrate that the DES has used different S boxes, and the S boxes that were used were designed with some specific conditions only, right? And there are no reasons why this particular design has been given to the S box. Why only 5th bit input is connected to the 25th input? Why only 10th input is connected to 64th output? This was not explained clearly by this NSA team and the IBM team, right? So what happened to this DES is the people they got the wrong interpretation. They thought that NSA is planning to put a trapdoor. So whoever uses this DES algorithm, they can easily decrypt the actual data and they can know the plain text. This is what the misinterpretation has gone into the public. Why? Because they are unable to explain why the key size has been reduced from 128 bit to 64 bits. Similarly, why the S boxes, they are unable to explain how these S boxes are designed. right? So obviously the people thought of with a negative intention that the NSA people, they are planning to attack the information, and they want to just keep track of everything, every information that is transferred between the sender and the receiver, right? They thought that the DES is actually a trapdoor, but this is not the actual thing that has happened, right? So later what happened is we have seen the concept of differential cryptanalysis, right? Can anybody tell me what is this differential cryptanalysis? What is differential cryptanalysis? Anybody? So at least tell me when it was invented, differential cryptanalysis. I told that Israel scientist has invented this differential cryptanalysis, who are Beham and Shamir. In 1990, this differential cryptanalysis has been adopted, right? So differential cryptanalysis means it is analyzing the crypts, the codes, by taking or by considering the difference of the plain text is similar to that of the difference of the ciphertext, right? P1 plus P2, P1 exclusive or P2 is equal to C1 exclusive or C2. So this particular IBM's DES, which was designed in 1977, it is very resistant to this differential cryptanalysis, right? So people thought in 1990 this was the differential cryptanalysis came into the market, and by the time itself the DES is in very advanced stage that it is able to counter effect this differential cryptanalysis. Nobody is able to make this differential cryptanalysis successful on the DES, right? So that is the strength of DES. So the thing is that 13 years before, so 1977 to 1990 means 13 years earlier itself, the scientists from IBM and NSA, they thought of having one particular attack which is called as the differential cryptanalysis, but they did not reveal it to the external world, right? So by keeping in mind about this differential cryptanalysis, the scientists from IBM and NCA, they have designed the DES such that it is very much resistant to the differential cryptanalysis. So that is one of the advantage we have with this DES, right? So is it clear about the history of DES?
Yes, sir.
Yes, sir.
Right. As I told that the data encryption standard DES is a symmetric key block cipher published by National Institute of Standards and Technology. In short, we will call it as NIST, right? So as I told that history, in 1973 the NIST published a request for proposals for a national symmetric key crypto system. They have given some advertisement saying that they are accepting the proposals for any symmetric key crypto system, right? So for that proposal, for that invitation, a proposal from IBM, a modification project called the Lucifer, was accepted as the DES, right? And DES was published in Federal Register. So this Federal Register is nothing but an official journal. It is an official journal of federal government of USA, right? So what they will do is this register consists of different government rules. What are the rules the government is going to propose, or what are the rules that the government is going to implement on their public, and all the public notices, everything is kept inside this federal register. So it is an official journal of the federal government of USA, right? So what they have done is this DES has been published in this journal in the March 1975 as a draft of public information processing standard, right? So that is the birth of the DES algorithm. Basically it is Lucifer, which was exclusively designed by the IBM scientists, but later it was combined with, they formed a group with the NSA also. So both of them worked and they thought of reducing the size of the key from 128 key bit size to 64 bit size, right? So this is the DES block cipher. As I told that DES is a block cipher and it is a symmetric key cipher. That is the reason why the same 56 bit key is used both for the encryption as well as the decryption, right? That is what the symmetric key cryptography is, right? So you can observe here that the DES cipher, it takes the 64 bit plain text, and after doing lot of calculations inside this DES cipher, it will generate a 64 bit cipher text. So as I told that the actual key size of this DES algorithm is 64 bit, but we are going to reduce this 64 bit into the 56 bit key, right? How we are going to reduce is a simple technique. So we divide this 64 bits into 8 blocks. So how many bits will be having in each and every block? 64 divided by 8.
8, sir.
Every block will be having 8 bits. Am I right or not? So the last or the first least significant bit will be neglected from each and every block. So how many bits are remaining for each and every block? 7 bits. So 8 blocks into 7 bits, how many bits? It is 56 bits.
56, sir.
Right. So this is how the 64 bit block has been converted into a 56 bit block, right? Actually the last bit doesn't have any significance in the DES cipher. That is the reason why we say that this we consider only the 56 bit key from the 64 bit key, right? Don't get confused. So everything is 64. The plain text is 64 bit, the cipher text is 64 bit, as well as the key is also a 64 bit, right? But as the last bit doesn't have any much significance in the DES cipher, we just remove it and we consider only 7 bits from each and every block. Therefore the key is reduced to 56 bit key, right? This particular terminology is very important. So if somebody asks you what is the key size of a DES algorithm, you should say that it is a 56 bit key, right? Even 64 bit key answer is also correct, but you should support your answer that it has been reduced to from 64 to 56, like that, right? Is it clear up to this point?
Yes, sir.
So coming to the decryption side, the receiver side, the 64 bit cipher text is passed to the DES reverse cipher. Reverse cipher means we do it in the reverse order. For example, you do one first operation and second operation like this in this sequence. So in the reverse cipher, we will do the second operation first and then the first operation later. This is nothing but the DES reverse cipher. So once you pass this 64 bit cipher text from the reverse cipher, you will be generated with the 64 bit plain text, right? So this is a general overview of the DES block cipher. If it is clear, we can move to the other slide.
Sir.
Yes, sir.
Right. So this is very important. This actually is the heart of the DES. So the structure of DES. So the DES algorithm, the entire encryption process makes use of different rounds of Feastel ciphers. So in general, we have 16 rounds of Feastel cipher. Again, I again stress that the Feastel cipher consists of a combination of different components of the Feastel cipher, right? Like we can have the S box, we can have the P box, we can have the whitener, which is called as a XOR operation, we can have swapper. So like that, each and every round in DES is a combination of various components, right? So like that, we have how many rounds? 16 rounds will be there. But before entering into the first round, it is going to have a permutation. That means we have a P box here, right? And at the end also we have another P box. So there are two different permutation boxes, which we call them as the initial and final permutations, right? Is it clear?
Yes, sir.
So the generalized structure
Yes,
is, here we have the initial P box, right? And we have some 16 rounds of Feastel cipher, and finally we have the final P box. This is a general structure of the encryption of the DES algorithm, right? So we'll see. This is what we have discussed, right? So you can observe here that this is the 64-bit plain text that is given by the user, and the first step what it will do is it will go for the initial permutation. So this is the initial P box. How can you implement P box in software? Any idea? We have gone through this discussion. How do you implement the P boxes in software? Anybody please respond.
No, sir.
Yes, sir.
So while discussing the concept of the components of the block cipher, we have seen that the P boxes can be implemented either as the hardware or the software. So while you implement the P box using the hardware, it is nothing but a pre-wired configuration, pre-wired. So you will connect the first input to 25th output using a wire. Similarly, you connect the second input to some 64th output using a wire. That is a pre-wired box, right? But this can also be, that this means the P box can also be implemented using the software by making use of the permutation table. We have gone through it, permutation tables, right? We'll see. Right. So this 64-bit plain text is initially passed to the initial permutation, and that initial permutation we call it as the initial P box. We'll see what this initial permutation table looks like, right? And after that it undergoes 16 rounds of Feastel cipher, right? We'll see what happens in each and every round. This is also very important. So the round 1 is similar to round 2, round 2 is similar to round 3, like that. Round 15 is similar to round 16, like that. Every round is having the same structure except for 16th. Right, there is a small difference in the 16th round. There is no much importance why that change has been made here, but they have simply removed one component from this round 16. That's it. So once the plain text has gone through all these 16 rounds of cipher, Feastel cipher, it will again enter into the last step, which is called as the final permutation. Therefore this is called as the final P box. Right. That will generate a 64-bit ciphertext. Right. So you can observe here that this is also a very important component in the DES, which is nothing but a round key generator. So what is the actual size of a key in the DES? What is the actual size of a key in the DES?
64 bits.
64 bit. Super, right? And it has been reduced to 56 bit cipher key. Am I right or not?
Yes, sir.
But if you look at the actual key size at each and every round, it is a 48 bit key. So we are again reducing this 56 bit cipher key into the 48 bit round key. Don't assume that round means this round. This round is nothing but one iteration. Iteration 1, iteration 2, like that. We have 16 different iterations. So this is very important. 64 bit key is the actual key size. It has been reduced to 56 bit cipher key. And when we go to the each and every iteration, it is again reduced to a 48 bit key. This is how it is reduced. We'll see how this 56 is converted to 48. That we'll see under this round key generator. So round key generator means this is a component which generates the key for each and every round. Round means, again, don't get confused, it is nothing but iteration or iteration, whatever you like, you can call it. So you can observe here that every round is having a different key, which is K1 is for first round, K2 is for second round, K16 is for round 16. So this particular keys for each and every round will be generated by the round key generator. Right, we'll see the structure of this round key generator also. Is it clear up to this point? This is the general structure of DES.
Yes, sir.
Right. So this is how the initial permutation and the final permutation looks like. Right. So tell me what this one is connected to, where this one input is connected to. This is the initial permutation, right? One is connected to, from here we go on through this, like this. It is 40.
40, sir.
Similarly, 2 is connected to the 8th output. Like that, we have different permutations in this initial permutation box. And similarly, after 16 rounds of Feastel cipher, the text will enter into the final permutation box, which has different combinations, right? So here you can see that 1 is connected to 58. Similarly, this 8 is connected to 2, like that. Right. So these are the initial permutation and the final permutation P boxes we have. Right. No need to remember these boxes, but you should know what actually is present inside this initial and final permutation boxes. So what is the size of this initial permutation? Any idea? What is the size of this initial permutation? See here, what is the
64 bits.
input? Super,
64.
right? 64.
64 bit.
So what is this input I have? This is a 64 bit. So once you are putting this 64 bit, inputting this 64 bit into the initial permutation, I will get a 64 bit plain text only, right? Intermediate text. So this is a 64 by 64 P box. Now tell me, what is the category of this P box? How many types of P boxes we have? How many types of P boxes we have?
Sir. Please, sir.
There are 3 P boxes. One is the straight P box, the expansion P box, and the compression P box.
Compression.
Right. So here it is taking 64 inputs and generating 64 outputs. Therefore, it comes under the category of the straight P box.
Right.
So if you look at this one, you can see that the first input is outputted to 58. So the second input, how can you say that it is second input? You have to give the index numbers like this. And this is 9, this is 10, like that. Now tell me, what is the output of 15th one, 15th input is connected to which output?
12th one, sir.
12th
Right.
output, sir.
No.
12th
This
output,
is
sir.
yeah. So the first input, the 58th input is present as 58th, the first output, right? So 15 is linked to 12, like that. Similarly, the final permutation also goes in the same manner, right? Now let us see with an example. So find the output of the initial permutation box. So you should consider only this box, right? Don't get confused. When the input is given in the hexadecimal as 0x, what does this 0x represent? It represents that the number you are giving is a hexadecimal notation. Is it clear? It has no significance inside this data. It simply says that it is a hexadecimal notation. That's it. So how many bits are there? How many bits input you have to give?
Decimal,
What is
sir.
what is the size of input?
64 bits.
64 bits, sir.
64 bit, right? So this is a hexadecimal 0. It is not a binary 0 or decimal 0. Hexadecimal means each and every number is represented with 4 bits, like this. Is it okay? Now if I want to represent this hexadecimal digit, how can I represent it? With 4 bits, right? So
Yes,
sir.
every hexadecimal is represented with a 4 bit. So how many hexadecimal digits are there here? 1, 2, 3, 4, 8 and 16. So 16 into 4, how many bits? It is 64 bits,
64, sir.
right? So now tell me, so this 0 hexadecimal notation will have 4 zeros, right? And this 0 will have 4 zeros. This will have 4 zeros. This will have 4 zeros. So total how many zeros are there?
16, sir.
16, right? Now here it is 16 plus 4, 20. 20 plus 4, 24. Now how do you represent 8 here? What is the combination of 8? Am I right or not? This is 1
Yes, sir.
triple 0.
Yes, sir.
Why? Because this is 2 power 0, this is 2 power 1, this is 2 square and this is 2 cube. So it becomes 1, 2, 4, 8. So if I want to represent 8, I have to set this bit. So what is the value of 12 or 7? What is the value of 7? 7 hexadecimal is equal to. So what are the bits I am getting? The 7, total 7. So 4 plus 2 plus
1 double.
0, 1.
0, 1, 1, 1.
0, 111. Am I right or not?
Yes, sir.
Sir.
So how can I represent 3 or 5? How can I represent 5?
0, 1, 0, 1, sir.
0, 1, 0, 1, sir.
It is 0, 1, 0, 1, right? So like that, this 8 is represented as 1, 000. Now tell me where this 1 is. What is the index of this 1? Right. See, these 4 are 16 bits. Here it is 20 and this is 24, right? And what about this bit? It is 25th bit. Am I right or not?
Yes, sir.
So we have 1 at 25th bit, and you can observe here that the remaining are zeros, right?
Yes,
But
sir.
the last one, how can I represent 2?
0010, sir.
0010. So what is this bit number? What is the index of this bit? So up to here it is 64, right? The last digit is 64th bit. So what is this one?
63, sir.
63 bit. So for the given input data, we have the 25th bit and the 63 bit set as 1. Am I right or not?
Yes, sir.
Now I have to check the permutation table. I have to check the permutation table. So 25th bit and 63 bit are ones and the remaining bits are 0. In the permutation table, 25 bit becomes, what is the value of 25 bit? We have to check this permutation table. So this is 16, this is 24 and this is 25. Am I right or not?
Yes, sir.
So 25th bit becomes 64. Right. Now what happens to 63? Go to the permutation table. So this is 64, right? And this is 63 bit. So what is the value of 63 bit now? It is 15.
Sir.
15,
So
sir.
it says that you just make this 25th bit as 64th bit as the output. And you make this 63rd bit as the 15th bit in the output. So if you go and check here, what is the 15th bit? This is 4, this is 8, this is 12, right?
Yes,
And
sir.
13, 14, 15. This I have to set. Remains 0. So what is the value of 0, 0, 1, 0? 2.
2, sir.
Right. So here I have 0, 0, 0, 2. And what happens to this 63 bit? It is 15. What happened to this 25 bit? It is 64. So what is 64th bit? This one. Right. It is 0, 0, 0, 1. This is 64th bit. So if I convert it into hexadecimal notation, I will get it as the output as 0x0000 and so on up to 1. So this is how the permutation works. Is it clear?
Yes, sir.
This is just for understanding purpose. That's it. Now here is an example. Prove that the initial and final permutation are the inverses of each other by finding the output of final permutation if the input is. So this is my input. Right. So tell me, what is this bit? What is the index of this 2? This is 4, 8, 12, 13, 14, 15. Right? 15th bit is 1.
Sir.
So I have 1 at
Yes, sir.
15th bit and 64 bit are 1. Am I right or not?
Yes, sir.
Yes, sir.
So if I look at the initial permutation, this is what, so this is the input that is given. I should get here, right? So I should check the final permutation. What are the inputs I have? 15th and 64. So in the final permutation table, what is the 15th bit? This is 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14 and
63,
15.
sir.
63. What happens to the 64 bit?
25, sir.
25, right? So if I make this 25 and 63 in the output as 1, I will get the same text, which is equal to this one and this one, right? So you can observe here that the initial and final permutations are inverses of each other, right? So if it is clear, we can move to the other section.
Yes, sir.
Yes, sir.
Right. So the initial and final permutations are straight p boxes. This is what we have discussed, and they are inverses of each other. This is what we have discussed in the previous example. And remember that they doesn't have any cryptographic significance in the DES. Nothing is there. They are just permutating. They are just interchanging the position of the bits. And finally, you are again bringing back to the same position. Is it right or not?
Yes, sir.
So here the 25th bit has been converted to 64, and in the final permutation the 64th bit is again converted to 25th bit. So there is no significance for this initial p box and the final p box in the DES algorithm. No cryptographic significance is there, just to have the confusion, not the confusion terminology related to the cryptography. So confusion in cryptography is different from the generalized confusion, right? So in order to confuse the people, here we are having this initial p box and the final p box. So if it is clear, we are done with the initial and final p boxes. Now we will enter into each and every round, right? So this is the actual structure of each and every round. Generalized structure means initial p box followed by 16 rounds and followed by final p box. This is the generalized DES structure. But coming to the DES structure at each and every round, this is what happens here. See, listen carefully, right? Be attentive. So what is the input to each and every round? What is the number of bits that is
64
given
bits,
as
sir.
64 bits.
bits, sir.
Here the 64 bits are divided into two equal parts. So 32 bits becomes the left part and 32 becomes the right part. So this I is the round number, previous round, and here this is the next round. That is what the difference is, right? See here, if you observe this diagram, the left part is given as input to the exclusive OR operation. This is called as the mixer operation, right? So the left 32 bits are inputted to the exclusive mixer, which consists of the exclusive OR operation, and the right 32 bits, listen carefully, the right 32 bits are passed as it is from the input to the swapper. There is no mixing operation here. Right bits, right part of the actual data are kept as it is. There is no change in it, right? But what is happening here is, see here, we have a tapping here. This right 32 bits is taken as the input to a function here, right? And what is this K1? Any idea what is this K1?
Key, sir.
Is a round key. Is a key for that particular round only. Therefore, it is denoted as Ki. Right? If it is first round, it is K1. If it is second round, it is K2. Anybody tell me what is the size of this round key?
48 bits.
Super, right? It is 48 bits. So 64 bits converted to 56 bit, 56 bit converted to 48 bit. So this 48 bit combined with what is the size of the right part? It is 32 bit. So 48 bits and the 32 bits of the right part of the data will be combined and they will frame a function. This function is very, very important. In fact, this is called as the heart of the DES. So we'll define a function with two inputs. One is the right 32 bits part and another one is the key Ki of that particular round. Both are of different size, remember, right? Key is of 48 and the right part is of 32 bits. And whatever output I get from this function, I am adding it, I am exclusive or operating with the left 32 bits. And whatever result I get, I pass to the swapper. What swapper will do is, it will simply swap the left to right and the right to left. That's it. So this is what happens in each and every round of the DES. Is it clear?
Yes, sir.
Right.
Yes, sir.
As I told that the DES function is the heart of the DES. Right. So the DES function applies a 48-bit key to the rightmost 32 bits to produce a 32-bit output. This is what is important here. So 48 bit key is combined with the rightmost 32 bits to produce again a 32 bit key. That's it, nothing more than that, right? But what actually is happening inside this function is f of ri minus 1 comma ki is defined like this, right? So what is this input ri minus 1? It is 32 bits. Ki is 42 bits. See here, the input 32 bits, the right part input of 32 bits is given to an expansion p box. Very important. So what is expansion p box?
Output elements are greater than the inputs.
Super. If the output elements number of outputs are greater than the number of inputs, we call it as the expansion p box. While discussing the concept of expansion p box, we told that the expansion p box is only used whenever we want to have the permutation of the inputs, and as well as if you want to have more number of bits or more number of outputs compared to that of the inputs. So here I have input as 32 bit, but what I am doing, I am converting into 48 bits. So how it is done? So one input mapped with more number of outputs, right? One input mapped with more outputs. This is how this expansion p box is generated, right? So the output of the expansion p box is a 48 bit, and the ki, which is 48 bits, and the output of the expansion p box, which is 48 bits, is XORed so that it will generate 48 bits. Again what you have to do, I have to reduce this 48 bits into 32 bits, right? So what I have done is I am using a S box combinations here. So 8 S boxes are used at this particular juncture. See here, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. 8 S boxes are used such that they will be converted from 48 bits to the 32 bits. Again, this 32 bits is again passed through a straight p box, which results in outputting the 32 bits. So this is how the DES function is defined. Initially the 32 bits input is converted into a 48 bit output using the expansion p box, which is XORed with the 48 bits of the key ki, and after that the 48 bits resultant value will be kept or inputted through 8 S boxes, right? 8 S boxes means how many inputs will be there for each and every S box? Any idea? So I have 48 bits as input and I have 8 S boxes. So what is the input? How many bits are there? Super, right? It is 6 bits. And I am reducing it to 32 bits. So each and every S box will have how many outputs?
4, sir.
4, right? 6 8s are 48 is for the input, and 8 4s are 32. So this is a 48 bit input converted into a 4 bit each S box of total of 32 bits. This is how it is converted, and the resultant of this output of S boxes is given to a straight box to get the confusion and diffusion, or to achieve the confusion and diffusion properties. So this is how the DES function is defined. Is it clear?
Yes, sir.
Yes, sir.
Now we will go deep into these expansion boxes and S boxes, right? So this is the expansion permutation. So how this 32 bit is converted into a 48 bit. So we have Ri minus 1, that is the right part of the input data as the 32 bit input, and Ki is a 48 bit key, and we need to expand this Ri minus 1 32 bit to the 48 bits. So this is how it is done. Is the picture clear? Is it visible to you?
Yes, sir.
Yes, sir.
Yes, sir.
So it is 4 inputs and 6 outputs. The last input is connected to this one as well as the first bit of the next one. Similarly, this the first bit of the second box is connected to the last bit of the first box. Like that, it maintains. That means the 4 bits are converted into 6 bits. Right. So the here this is from the bit 32 and the last one is from bit 1. So this is how a expansion p box is defined, right? And this is the expansion p box table. Now tell me, what is the size of this expansion p box table? Any idea?
Six.
What is the size of expansion p box?
Forty-eight bits.
48, sir.
48 bits, sir.
Right, 48. Right, but the input is 32 only, right? So it is 32 by 48. That we have to tell. Right? Is it clear?
Okay, sir.
Yes, sir.
Right. So now if you observe here that this 5 is getting repeated. Similarly, 9 is getting repeated. And this, what again? 13 is getting repeated.
24,
17,
sir.
17, 21, 25,
24, sir.
29, 24
31,
is
sir.
also repeated, right?
31.
Like
sir.
this, these are going to be repeated. Is it clear? So that is the reason why we get 48 outputs even though we are giving the 32 bit as input, right? So no need to remember all these things, Amma, right? It is just for understanding purpose only, right? So after performing the expansion, what is that I have to do? The sequence of operation is very important. So initially I have initial permutation. First step is initial permutation, right? After that, when I enter into the round, each and every round, I divide it and I give it to the mixer. So this is the function. So expansion p box is explained. After expansion p box, what is that I have to do? XOR operation. And after this XOR operation, I have to give the input to the S boxes. After this S boxes, the output has to be given to the straight P box. So in the function itself, I have 4 different units. So we are done with the explanation on the expansion P box. Now we'll see what this XOR operation will do. We can call it as the whitener, right? So after the expansion permutation, DES uses the XOR operation on the expanded right section and the round key. Is it true or not?
Sir.
Yes, sir.
So note that both the right section and the key are 48 bits in length. That is the reason why we can perform the XOR operation. Also note that the round key is only used in this operation, right? Remember, the key is nowhere used in the DES algorithm. It is used only in the XOR operation, right? And after the XOR operation, there is no need to explain the XOR operation, right? If the bits are different, the output is set, and if the bits are equal, the output is reset. Set means 1 and reset is 0. So after you get the 48-bit output, I need to reduce the 48-bit output into the 32-bit output that the DES is doing with the help of 8 S boxes, each with 6-bit input and 4-bit output, right? So what is the use of this S boxes? What is the name of S box? Abbreviate it. We have 2 types of boxes, right? P box and S box.
Substitution box, sir.
So this is a substitution box, and this is used to achieve the property of confusion. Don't get confused, right? So you can simply remember the term CS, which stands for the computer science. So confusion is achieved from substitution. And the other, what is the other property you should have? Diffusion, right? We have two properties. One is confusion and another one is
Yes,
diffusion.
sir.
Am I right or not? So confusion is achieved using the substitution. Therefore, you remember this CS term. And similarly, what is the other name for the P box?
Permutation box.
Permutation box.
No, what is the other name? P box or D box, right?
D box, sir.
So D stands for
Yes, sir. Diffusion, sir.
Diffusion.
Diffusion, sir.
so the diffusion property can be achieved using this P box, and the confusion property can be achieved using this substitution box. That's it. So the S boxes do the real mixing here to achieve the property of the confusion. So the 8 DES uses 8 S boxes as we have discussed. So these are the array of S boxes. So we have 6-bit input for each and every S box and 4-bit output for each and every S box. And this is the S box rule we have. See here, very important S box rule. So how many inputs are there? How many inputs for the S box? 6, right? So if you observe here, the first bit and the last bit are combined and they are treated as the rows. So 2 bits means how many combinations I have? 4 combinations. Am I right or not?
4, sir.
And similarly, the middle 4 bits, out of the 6 bits, the middle 4 bits are taken as columns. Here I take these 4 bits as columns. And the first and the last bit, I take it as rows. So since 2 bits, I have 4 combinations, therefore I have 4 rows. And coming to the columns, there are 4 bits, right? How many combinations I have?
16,
sir.
16, super. Right. Therefore, I have 16 different columns here. Right. So we'll see it with an example. We'll first look at the table. So this is S box 1, right? So remember, there are eight different S boxes. There are 8 different S boxes. I'm talking about only the S box 1. So these are S boxes, array of S boxes. This is S1, this is S2, this is S3, S4, S5, S6, S7 and S8. So I'm talking about this S1 only. I'm taking the example. See here, I have 16 columns 0 to 15 and I have 4 rows 0 to 3. Right. So these are the different values I have here. Right. See, let us see what happens. We'll take it with an example. So the input to S box 1 is 10011. So how many bits are there in this given stream? 100,011. So 6 bits. Am I right or not?
6, sir.
So he is asking us what is the output of the S box 1 if I give the input as 100,011. So what is that I have to do? I told that the middle 4 bits are treated for columns and the combination of first and the last bit are treated as rows. So what is the combination of first and last bit? It is 1 1. Am I right or not?
Yes, sir.
What is the decimal equivalent of 1 1?
3,
3.
3, sir.
Right. And I take these columns. Now I consider the columns. So what are the columns binary sequence I have? 0 0 0 1 base
1.
What is the equivalent binary equivalent? It is 1 base 10, right? So what I have to do is the row is third row and the column is 1. So what is the column? Column 1. And what is the row? Row 3. So what is the intersection point here? It is 12.
12, sir.
Now you convert this 12 into binary equivalent. What happens? Previously I told, right, 1, 2, 4 and 8. So if I want to have 12 as a number,
1100, sir.
8 and 4 should be combined. So it is 1100. Right. So this is the output I get here. Is it clear? So these 6 bits 1 0 0 1 1 is converted into 1100. This is how the S box works. And there exist different S boxes. How many S boxes are taken in DES? How many S boxes? I told you clearly in the previous discussion there are 8 different S boxes, each with 6 bits of input and 4 bits of output, right? So how many S boxes are there?
8, sir.
Right. And after, what is the first step in the function? It is expansion P box, right? This we have explained. And after this it has to be given to the XOR as input. So 48 bit input is XORed with 48 bit key. And what is the third one? It is given to the S boxes. So it takes 48 bits and generates 32 bits. So this 32 bit is again given to a straight P box. So these are the 4 steps that has to be performed in the functionality itself. So we are done up to this point. Now the last one is a straight P box. So it is a 32 by 32 straight P box. If you can see here, 4 8 4 32, right? Is it clear up to this point?
Yes, sir.
So once these 32 bits are generated, what you have to do? What is that you have to do? You have to give it to the swapper, right? So using mixers and swappers, we can create the cipher and reverse cipher, each having 16 rounds. So initially they assumed that one approach is to make the last round different from the others. This is not required indeed, right? But they just want to show some difference. Therefore the 16th round they didn't put any swapper here. Mixer is there. Mixer means, what are the components of mixer? This one is mixer, right?
XOR operations.
Right, expansion P box followed by XOR operation followed by S boxes and followed by the straight P box. This is entirely a mixer combination. So once you complete with the mixer, you have to give it to the swapper, which swaps the right part to the left and the left part to the right part, right? So but this is common for 15 rounds or 15 iterations, it is common. But in the last 16th round, what they have done is they have simply removed the swapper. That's it, nothing more than that, right? So once the output that is given to the 16th, once the output that is obtained from the 16th round is directly given to the final P box, which generates the corresponding 64-bit ciphertext. Clear?
Yes, sir.
So this is the initial approach we have. Initial permutation, 64-bit plain text, initial permutation, and this round 1 consists of the mixer as well as the swapper. Similarly, round 2 consists of mixer as well as swapper, and round 15 consists of mixer and swapper. Here you can clearly observe that the 16th round consists of only the mixer, no swapper is there. And whatever output you get from the 16th round is directly given to the final permutation. Right? Is it clear?
Yes, sir.
So in the decryption side, you can observe here that this is a reverse process. You go in this direction from bottom to top. So the ciphertext is taken and it will go the initial permutation. See here, here it is going to perform the initial permutation, and then K16 is given to the swapper, and after that it's not swapper, mixer, right? See here,
Yes, sir.
this one, round 2, round 15, and finally we have round 16, like this. So this is a reverse process. So cipher and reverse cipher are in the reverse order, right? So once you go from top to bottom, then you go from the bottom to top. Is it clear?
Yes.
So these are the various algorithms that has been discussed till now, right? So the cipher is the actual name of the DES cipher, and it accepts 64-bit plain text, and 64-bit ciphertext will be generated, and the round keys for 16 rounds, each and every round we have 48, right? There we are using the initial permutation. Am I right or not? What is the first step in the DES? Initial permutation. So what is the input to the DES? Input to the first initial permutation, 64. What is the output? 64. So it takes plain block and initial permutation table, it will make use of it, and it will generate an intermediate. And then after initial permutation, it will enter into the round iteration. So initially you will split it. So 64-bit is splitted into 32 in block, left block, and right block. So this is common for 16 rounds, and within the each and every round we have a mixer. So left block and right block is mixed with the round key, right? We'll have separate function for this mixer. All these split, mixer, combine, permute, everything is a function. Right, you can see here, mixer is a function. So you copy it, you function, exclusive or copy. Again, these are all functions. Similarly, swapper is a function which copies the left to right and then right to left. So this is the function we have. Like that, this is the substitution function we have. So this is how the DES has been designed, right? And the alternative approach they have used is, in the first approach they have removed the swapper from the 16th round. But if you want to put the swapper in the 16th round, yes, you can do it, right? But what they have done is they have kept 2 swappers consecutively. So for example, this is L and this is R. This is swapper 1 and this is swapper 2. So this swaps like this and this swaps like this. So again what happens here? So the left L1 becomes R2 and R1 becomes L2. Now again if we apply the swap function, what happens here? L2 becomes R3 and R2 becomes L3. Now you can see here that L1 and L3 are equal. Similarly R1 and R3 are equal. So this is how they have tried different versions of it's not, we cannot say it as a different version, it's a different approach, right? So initially the first round has been the 16th round has been removed with the swapper function, and then they have another approach with 2 swappers in the same function, so that one swapper can cancel the effect of other swapper, right? So is it clear up to this point?
Yes, sir.
Right. So we will close the discussion with the discussion on the key generation. So till now we have seen only the original structure, right? So this is the DES, and we have initial permutation, and we have 16 rounds like this, and then we have final permutation, and above all these, apart from these, we have another component which is called as a round key generator, right? What is the input to the round key generator? How many bits are there?
Forty-eight, sir.
48, right? I'm asking you about the input. Output is 48. At each and every round it makes use of 48 bit key, right? But the input is 56 bits. So this 56 bits has to be converted into 48 bits by this round key generator, and every time it should generate a new key for each and every round, right? So how it is happening? So the round key generator creates 16 48 bit keys out of 56 bit single cipher key. Listen, what is this? See the strength of this key generator. So it is taking only one 56 bit cipher key only, but it is able to generate 16 48 bit different keys from the same 56 bit cipher key. So this also plays very important role in the DES algorithm. Key generation is also very important, right? We'll see how these keys are the 48, each and every 48 bit key is generated. So the actual size of key is how many bits? It is 64 bits, right? And these 64 bits are passed through a parity drop table. I'll show you the table also. The parity drop is nothing but, as I told, that the least significant bit is simply ignored. So only 7 bits are remained. 7 into 8, I have 56 bits. So this is the parity drop, where it will just remove the last bit from the key. So I will get a cipher key which is of length 56 bits. So how this 56 is converted into 48 and at each and every round of 16 rounds, how it is going to do, we'll see. So the 56 bits is again divided into two parts, each consisting of 28 bits, and then it will undergo into the left shift operation, right? And after left shift operation, does the number of bits change or remains as it is? Value may change, but the number of bits remains as it is. Am I right or not?
Yes, sir.
So the 28 bits input is given to the left shift, and similarly the right 28 bits are given to another left shift operation, and again it is combined into the 28 bits and 28 bits, right? And these 28 plus 28, again I have 56 bit, but I need to generate a 48 bit. So what is that I have to use? I have to use a compression P box. So the number of outputs are less than the number of inputs in the compression P box. So it is a 56 by 48 compression P box, right? Is it clear?
Yes, sir.
And see here, this is it will generate the corresponding 48 bits for the round key up to here. And if you observe this second round of key generation, the same 28 bits from the cipher key is taken as the input, right? The same 56 bits which is left shifted. This is very important. So the output of the left shift is taken as input to the second round of left shift operator, and again the right shift operator, the output of the right left shift is taken as the input, and it will generate 56 bits. Then it will sent into compression box. Like that, each and every round will take the input from the previous left shift operation. This is very important, right? Is it clear?
Yes, sir.
So like that, it is capable of generating 16 rounds of 48 bit keys. And if I say it is left shift, what does it mean? You are going to shift it 1 bit or 2 bit or 3 bit, 4 bit, 5 bit. What is the logic is, here in the left side you can see this table, right? Are you able to see this table here?
Yes, sir.
So the rounds 1, 2, 9 and 16, they will make use of only one bit shift. One bit is shifted. 1, 2 like this. Right. But 1, 2, 9 and 16, they will make use of only one bit shift, and the remaining rounds like 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14, 15, they will shift by 2 bits. Right. So this is how the key is generated. 16 different keys are generated from a single 56 bit cipher key by making use of the left shift and the compression P boxes. Is it clear?
Yes, sir.
Right. So this is the parity bit drop table. Parity bit drop table means, right, I told that initially I have a 64 bit key, and when I pass this 64 bit key through this parity bit drop table or parity bit drop component, I will be able to generate the 56 bit key. So this is the parity bit drop table. If you can observe here that 1, 2, 3 is there, here 4 is there, and where is 5? See here, 5, 6, 7 is there. There is no 8th bit. Similarly 9, 10, 11 and 12 is there, 13, 14, 15. There is no 16th bit. Right. And 17, 18, 19 and this is 20 and 21, 22, 23. 24th bit is not there. Like that, every 8th bit is just dropped from it, and there are different permutations also, right? And this particular table gives the number of bits that are shifted. This we have seen in the previous diagram also. The rounds 1, 2, 9, 6, 1, 2, 9 and 16, they will shift by 1 bit only, and the remaining rounds like 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8 and 10, 11, 12, 13, 14, they will shift by 2 bits. This is how the left shift operation is performed to generate the 48 bit keys for 16 different rounds. Right. Is it clear?
Yes, sir.
So once the
Yes,
left shift is done, they are combined and they are compressed. Am I right or not? So I need to
Yes, sir.
convert this 56 bit key into the 48 bit key. Right. So this is a 56 by 48 compression table. That means some outputs or some inputs doesn't have any outputs. Can you identify any input that doesn't have output by looking at this table? Two is there, 4 is there, 3 is there, 1 is there. Is there any 5 here? 5 is there, 6. Can you see the table? Is there any 6 here?
Yes, sir. Second row, sir.
Yeah, 6, 7, 8, 9 is there. Nine is not there, right? 10,
Yes, sir.
11, 12, 13, 14, 15, 16 is there.
In third row, sir.
16, 17,
First row.
18 may not be there, I think. Right. Similarly 19, 20 like that it will be there, maybe 20 like that. So 56 bits are mapped to 48 bits means some of the inputs does not have the corresponding outputs. That is the thing you have to understand, right? So is it clear?
Yes, sir.
Yes, sir.
So this is the algorithm for the round key generation. So it takes 64-bit key, and it generates 16 keys of length 48-bit each. It will take the input as shift table, right? So this is how the left shift is implemented, right? So the left shift means 1, 2, 9 and 16 only one bit has to be shifted, and for the remaining 2 bits has to be shifted. So you have to write the program corresponding to this, how this left shift has to be implemented, right? So is it clear up to this point?
Yes, sir.
See here, this is an example, no need to by heart it, or no need to do anything about this, but you should understand what is happening here, right? So we choose a random plain text block and a random key and determine what the ciphertext block would be, all in hexadecimal only, right? So the plain text is this one. Assume that this is a hexadecimal. He has given it, right? So how many bits are there here? How many bits are there? What is the size of the plain text in DES?
64 bit.
64 bits, right? So how many characters are there? Any idea? Right, hexadecimal notation means each and every hexadecimal notation is given by 4 bits. So 64 by 4, how many characters? 16 characters, right? So what is the size of the key? What is the size of the key?
What
is the it's not 16 bits, it is 16 characters. The size is 64 bits.
Yes,
Right.
sir.
So what is the output I will get here? It is also a 64 bit. So the plain text is taken. After initial permutation, I will get like this, and I will split the initial permutation. So 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. I split here. So this is L0 and this part is R0. So in the round 1, I give the input L0 and R0, and the round key that is generated is this one. So whatever output I get from this, I give as input to this. Like that, I have to go 16 rounds, right? And after that, I get the combination like this. So the output of 16th round is this one. And in the final one, what I will do is I have to pass this to the final permutation table so that I can generate a ciphertext, this one. Right. So the ciphertext that is generated will be around that is the output which I get after 16 rounds of Feastel ciphers. Is it clear?
Sir.
Right. So that's all for today's session. In today's session, we have gone through the history of, we have started our discussion with data encryption standard. We discussed a lot on the history of DES, how it has invented, and what are the changes that took place from Lucifer to DES. All these things we have discussed, and we have started our discussion on the DES structure. We have gone through the DES functionality structure. We have gone through the key generation, how the key is generated from the 64-bit to the 48-bit at each and every round, consisting of 16 rounds. The thing you have to remember here is the key generator plays very important role in converting the 56-bit cipher key into 16 rounds of 48-bit keys. Right? It makes use of left shift operation and expansion P box and the compression P box. Everything they will use, and that is what you have to remember in this particular concept. Right? So that's all for today's session. We have gone through the history and the basics and the structure, the in-depth structure of the DES algorithm. So in in the next coming session we'll be discussing on the DES analysis, and we'll see the advanced version of this DES. Before going to the advanced version of DES, we'll see what are the disadvantages we have with this DES. Then we'll move into the triple DES concept, which in short form we'll call it as TDES. T stands for triple and DES stands for data encryption standard. Right. So this is how I have planned for the next session. So thank you one and all.